Today, it's hard to imagine the global market without the American dollar. Those green bills with the dollar symbol that have become an integral part of the world economy. However, the story of the dollar began long before the first US dollars were printed. Its origins date back to the 16th century, when Europeans minted silver coins known as thalers, which effectively became the prototype of the dollar. Interestingly, the word dollar appeared before the United States had its currency, and the dollar symbol has been in use for nearly 300 years. Let's dive deeper into this topic, including why the dollar became the world's primary currency and what critical moments in its history have meant. Our story begins in early America, where the monetary situation in the colonies was complex and confusing. Colonists arriving in the New World brought currencies from their home countries: British pounds, Spanish reals, French francs, and Dutch guilders. All of these circulated in the lands that would later become the United States. Particularly popular were coins known as thalers, a name derived from the German word Thal, meaning valley. These silver coins, first minted in Europe in the 16th century, became a vital part of international trade. The first thaler to influence the future US monetary system was minted in 1518 in the town of Joachimsthal, now Yakimov in the Czech Republic. The full name of this coin was Joachimsthaler, or coin from Joachim's Valley. As mentioned, the term thaler evolved in different languages. Dutch speakers called them dialders, Italians called them tagliero, and in America, the name evolved into dollar. This evolution shows how European culture and economics influenced colonial America. Among all foreign coins circulating in the colonies, the Spanish peso, known as the Spanish American dollar, became especially popular and was widely accepted in trade. The Spanish coin of 8 reales, nicknamed the Spanish dollar, essentially became a unified currency, linking the value of goods and services. The Spanish dollar became so influential that it is often regarded as the precursor to the American currency. Since the British government forbade American colonies from minting their own money and restricted the export of gold and silver, a shortage of cash ensued. Colonists were forced to create alternative forms of trade and exchange. For example, in the Massachusetts colony, wampum shells, beads made from shellfish, became legal tender. In other areas, tobacco and other goods were used as currency. Yet, this created significant confusion and inconvenience as the colonial economy expanded. When tensions between the British colonies and London reached a peak in 1775, leading to the War of Independence, the Continental Congress decided to issue paper notes, a new type of currency known as the Continental Dollar. These paper notes, which symbolized the colonists' desire for freedom, were printed with the expectation that they would be used in everyday trade. However, due to the lack of gold or silver backing, these notes quickly lost their value. After the war ended in 1783, and the United States gained independence, there was a need to create a stable national currency. In 1785, the Continental Congress declared the dollar the official currency of the country, establishing a decimal system where $1 was divided into 100 cents. This was an innovative move, making the US the first country to adopt a decimal system for its currency, simplifying financial calculations significantly. The first official coin, minted under the Coinage Act, was issued in 1792. Interestingly, it wasn't called a dollar, but rather an eagle, a gold coin worth $10. However, the silver dollar coin appeared shortly afterward and became the main means of trade. A key feature of the law was that the dollar was backed by both gold and silver. 1 troy ounce of gold was valued at $19.3. By 1861, as the Civil War began, the need to finance the army forced the US government to create paper money, the first dollar bills. Printers chose green ink for these bills as it was readily available, giving birth to the legendary greenback. Between 1861 and 1865, Congress issued more than $60 million in notes, the highest of which was the $20 bill. The Civil War played a significant role in the rapid spread of the dollar as it became widely circulated across the nation. The famous dollar symbol that we see today also has an interesting origin. One theory suggests that the symbol came from the Spanish peso, where the letters P and S were written over each other, evolving into the modern dollar symbol. Another theory links it to the Roman numeral II, symbolizing the pillars surrounding the Spanish coat of arms. After the Civil War, the U.S. officially adopted the gold standard. In 1900, a policy was enacted that pegged the dollar exclusively to gold rather than silver. This was a step towards securing currency stability, as each bill could be exchanged for gold. This system remained in place until the early 20th century, when World War I and then the Great Depression severely impacted the economy and gold reserves. The Bretton Woods Agreement, established in 1944, set a new order in which the dollar became the primary reserve currency, with its value tied to gold at a fixed rate. The dollar replaced gold as the international currency. By 1971, when U.S. economic problems and demands for gold redemption intensified, President Richard Nixon closed the gold window, ceasing the exchange of dollars for gold. This effectively ended the gold standard. A milestone event was the Plaza Accord of 1985, when major world economies agreed to support a weaker dollar to improve the balance of international trade. This helped curb inflation and strengthened the U.S. position in the global economy. Today, the dollar remains the world's primary reserve currency. Although the euro and Chinese yuan have emerged as competitors, the dollar still holds a central place in international transactions. Challenges such as inflation and economic crises may affect its role, but the history of the dollar shows that it has overcome tough times before. Furthermore, the dollar represents stability and trust in the U.S. economy, a position further solidified by globalization. Lastly, here are 5 short but interesting facts about the American dollar. In 1934, the U.S. government issued $100,000 gold certificates featuring President Woodrow Wilson. These were not meant for public use, but were used exclusively for transactions between Federal Reserve banks. The term buck as slang for a dollar dates back to the 18th century, when deerskins, or buckskins, were used as a form of barter and trade. Over time, buck became synonymous with money. To deter counterfeiters, the U.S. government began printing paper money on a special cotton-lin blend that included tiny red and blue silk fibers. This practice started in the 1860s and continues today, making U.S. currency notoriously difficult to counterfeit. Despite advanced anti-counterfeiting measures, the U.S. dollar remains the most counterfeited currency globally due to its widespread use. Interestingly, most counterfeit dollars are produced outside the United States, particularly in North Korea and Colombia. The First Lady of the United States appeared on the $1 silver certificate in the late 19th century, making her the only woman to appear on paper currency in U.S. history until plans for Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill emerged. The history of the dollar is a vivid example of how economics, politics, and culture intertwine. From the first tailors to the Greenbacks, from the gold standard to the Plaza Accord, each of these stages laid the foundation for the modern currency system. The dollar embodies not only the U.S. economy, but the entire global financial system, having evolved from silver coins in Joachimsthal to digital currency. What lies ahead remains to be seen, but for now, the dollar remains one of the most powerful currencies in history.